Okay, there are two aspects to what we see transpiring in the aftermath of the Iowa caucus and of the upcoming primary election in New Hampshire, where people can vote across party lines. In other words, Democrats can try to vote for the Republican who's going to be the weakest candidate against the Democrat nominee. Uh, and the Republican Party establishment, the Koch brothers, people like that, are backing Nikki Haley. Unfortunately, Governor DeSantis is not a major player in New Hampshire. He's moving on to the Carolinas, but New Hampshire will be significant following Iowa. This is happening at a time where you see people like Senator Rand Paul, who's a libertarian / conservative, but he's primarily a libertarian, warning about Nikki Haley. Now, one time I liked Nikki Haley when she was the U.S. ambassador to the UN. I thought she was effective. And by all accounts, she was a reasonably good governor. But it's evident that she is a rhino. And compromising on border issues and a number of other things, she's an establishment Republican. She's not a conservative. So you're beginning to see this conflict within the Republican Party, not just between Donald Trump, who the Democrats are trying to politically weaponize the judicial system to keep him from getting elected or even being able to run, but running against the Republican Party establishment, who will cooperate with the Democrats against Trump. We see Fox News going in this direction. They don't like Joe Biden, but they don't like Donald Trump. Now, by the way, I voted for Mr. Trump twice, but I would not vote for him again for a couple of reasons. The first one being his homosexual lesbian gala held in Mar-a-Lago. I can't vote for anybody who supported that. But I'm just reporting or observing and assessing what is happening in the aftermath of the Iowa caucus. One of the things we're seeing happening is this. In the Senate right now, Mitch McConnell is in some kind of concordat with Chuck Schumer compromising on border security. This is not the first time the rhinos have done this. Now, some rhinos, or someone I thought was a rhino, Tim Scott, at one time I thought he was a conservative, then I thought he was a rhino. Today he's come out and endorsed Donald Trump, which is interesting. Also, Marco Rubio, who is definitely a rhino, has endorsed Donald Trump. So it's a very, very confusing playing field. But there is a basic lineup between the rhinos and the conservatives, no matter how you want to look at it. And some of the rhinos are jumping the rhino ship, aligning with Trump, maybe just for political motives, but it seems to be happening. Mitch McConnell is, of course, a sellout, and he will sell out unless he's politically forced to do otherwise. So it's not just Trump versus Biden or the Republicans versus the Democrats. It's the conservative faction of the Republican Party up against the rhinos. They're fighting a war within and without at the same time. This is also having a parallel in the Democratic Party. James Carville, who I don't like, but he's politically astute, but ideologically I obviously don't like him. He is warning of the third party candidate, Robert Kennedy, RFK's son, and that he could take a significant percentage of votes from the Democrats running as an independent. They hate him. Biden will not give him Secret Service protection, despite his father and his uncle having been assassinated, his father being assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan, an Arab, when his father was a presidential candidate during the primaries in the old Ambassador Hotel in L.A. And it just shows you the corruption and treachery of the Democratic Party. And somebody from the iconic family of the Democratic Party, the royal family of the Democratic Party, the Kennedys, Biden is denying him, and the people looking over Biden's shoulder telling him what to do, denying Secret Service protection to the son of Robert Kennedy, when his father was assassinated when he was running in the Democratic primaries. This is how ugly and treacherous it's become within the Democratic Party. So you've got that division. But at the same time, you have a similar division within the Tory party, the Conservative Party in Britain, over the same issue, immigration. Suella Braverman and the real conservatives, who are more akin to Margaret Thatcher and of that things of that nature, an ideology of that nature, are up against Sunak. Sunak has something called the Rwanda Plan, which is a compromise. It will not guarantee keeping Islamic and other refugees out of Great Britain. It's not making a strong enough provision to protect Britain from Islamic and other immigration that shouldn't be taking place. So you have a division between the conservatives and the pseudo-conservatives. In Britain, the same as you have between the conservative Republicans and the Rhino Republicans. It's a similar mess in Britain, a similar mess in America. And you've got it in the Democratic Party. Quite a situation. Now, it is very interesting this week that, among other things, that Rasmussen, which has traditionally been the most credible poll, not saying any of them are perfect, but the Rasmussen polls have more credibility than the others based on their overall success rate. The Rasmussen polls have said two things. Neither one the Democrats are enjoying. One, that 2/3 of the American people, 2/3, including pro-abortion people, believe there should be restrictions legislatively on abortion, that there should not be late-term abortion, not be partial birth abortion. Even pro-abortion people want restrictions on abortion. Okay, that's one of the things that's happening, and the Democrats don't like that. They only believe in democracy when it suits them. When it doesn't, they want to sweep it under the rug. But the other thing is, a majority of the country believes that Biden is not running the country, Obama is. That Obama is running the Biden administration through proxies. That is very, very interesting. The Democrats are divided, the Republicans are divided, and in Britain, the conservatives are divided among themselves. Everybody's deciding whose side they're going to try to come down on, partially out of self-political interest and partially out of just a general uncertainty of the way things are going to go. But it's quite a mess. Quite a mess. There is no cohesion.